Happy New Year, Gemini. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au. I'm just wondering whether you're feeling lucky because, most traditional Western astrologers anyhow talk about this transit of Jupiter in your sun sign being very, very lucky. And it's retrograde right now. So that empowers the planet. It augments its power for good or otherwise. So I'll be curious to get some feedback from some of you on that. Depending on when you're born, right now Jupiter's in the early part of Gemini, so those of you born in the first week or so of the sign of the twins should be experiencing the effects of this much more dramatically. However, Jupiter is considered a karmic obstructor for the sign of Gemini, being the ruler of the 7th house or Sagittarius. So for those of you that aren't aware, it's best to apply this to a Vedic horoscope rather than the Western circular chart that I'm working on here to give you the monthly review. But we also see the planet Mars creating a trine aspect that is also not considered in Vedic astrology a very good planetary combination. However, let me give you my spin on it based upon Western thought. This is a very, very strong aspect for expanding your horizons. It may also expand your waistline. Be careful there. Food could become an issue over the next month or so, and you may want to do some exercise, but you could be constricted from doing that because of the position of Saturn in your 6th house of health. But it's essential. That also shows me you may be experiencing some troubles in that area. But the negative planets, according to Vedic astrology, will cause problems. That's why I've asked you, Gemini natives, to give me some feedback. I'm curious as to how this is affecting you. According to Westerners, the transit of Jupiter when it makes contact with the Sun is actually very, very good. It gives you a lot of optimism, a lot of hope, better relationship opportunities too. And this is wonderful because you've got Venus there in your 7th house of relationships up until the 9th, which is today in my time zone. You'll be feeling this for the next few days again still, and then it moves into the 8th house of sexuality, out of aspect to Jupiter. But the Venus-Jupiter opposition, these two planets when they're opposed to each other, can indicate, I guess, over-optimism, a tendency to really live hard, which is why I mentioned the exercise. So maybe now it's time to get back to your normal regime, be a little more realistic about your expectations in relationships. We see here the 8th house is the transformative house of the zodiac. You've got the Sun, Mercury, and now Venus moving into this area. So, relationships, especially the more intimate aspects of your relationship, sexuality, this could be something that needs to be worked on in a big, big way. But it also has to do with your shared resources. And I mentioned this over the last couple of months with Pluto being there, a transformative influence indeed, showing that you need to change the way you relate to others as far as your shared money, shared belongings are concerned. This could be if you're married or in a de facto relationship, looking at working through those aspects that you've swept under the rug for way too long. So communication is necessary, and we see that also from the moon at the beginning of the year being in your 3rd house in Leo. So that had a nice triangular aspect to Venus for a day or two and sets the pace for a more communicative style of understanding with your partner. You need some unusual friendships during this period, also mentioned recently through the placement of Uranus in the 11th house of friendships, social circumstances, networks, and Venus in the right angle to that. So this can show a bit of irritability, a bit of impatience on your part. You're wanting something more just now. Hence, this movement of Venus into the zone of more serious intimacy, talking about what's necessary in your life, and laying your cards on the table with your partner is most important. On top of that, you have the new moon there around this time as well. So a refreshing new approach, a new understanding can emerge through this 8th house activation by several planets right now, 4 or 5 planets That's called a stellium, so it's significant. It places a lot of emphasis in that part of the zodiac. Mercury is the ruling planet for your sun sign. It moves to the ninth house of journeys, higher communication and education, on the on the 19th. So between the 19th and 22nd, a lot of activity there. Those of you who are students will be pleased to note that you have a renewed sort of spirit for your studies at this time. Conjunction to Mars will be significant. Be careful that you don't lash out and be too opinionated about things, especially opinions relating to intellectual subjects. You may know your stuff, but it's the way you're going to deliver it that could be the critical issue here. Finally, the Sun and Saturn right angle aspect on the 31st, which is preceded by the your ruling planet right angle aspect to Saturn. The Saturn aspect's pretty tough, 26th to the 31st. Heavy sort of responsibilities. Dealing with older male authority figures could also feature during this last week of the month. And just getting back to what I said earlier, you need to handle yourself well. Even if you're right, you may need to use the element of silence to win the argument overall. Join me at astrology.com.au. That's the astrology.com.au, my website. The monthly overviews in more detail there, plus the daily readings. We've also got the yearly overview just now, which might be of interest to you. Your general overview, the relationships, work and money, and the karmic and emotional aspects I've outlined as well for you over the coming 12 months. That's at my website. Look forward to seeing you there. Until next month, Gemini, have a good one. Bye for now.